What up, Floss Tube? Just thought I'd shoot a quick video for you guys here. So I'm going to do this one face free just because I'm always so unhappy with how the colors show up when I'm just kind of randomly holding things up for you guys. So I thought I would just do a face free one for this round. So anyways, I've got my Deep Blue Sea Chatelaine started. That was one of my Maynia starts. So it is on the scroll frame now. Lovely. Just the middle part right there. Let's see here. Yeah, it's this design here, so I'm working on the middle part right there. So yeah, and look at how many floss colors and silks there are. Like, this is just DMC. And there's another page. Also, this was fun for me. So the middle part I'm working on, these two symbols are right next to each other in quite abundance. My eyes were crossing like crazy. So I printed out a black and gray copy and played the highlighter game. So that's what I'm doing for that there. So yeah, that's my life right now. But once I get through that part, it'll be much smoother going. It always goes much smoother once I get the center down on a chatelaine, because then, you know, you have at least something to refer back to. So, but anyways, look at all this stuff in here. My God. So yeah, this is how I do it when I do a chatelaine. The frames are so large, I need to use the low-ran frame. Before, I would sit on the couch and I'd like prop pillows up on either side, and then it would just be, you know, I'd be trapped under it like a bridge. So, and then I've got the drawer for the design. And then when I'm done stitching this goes down. I've got some bins down here. I'm paranoid about mice getting into my stuff, so I like to store them away like in bins. This is like a wrapping paper bin, so I'll put my big projects in there. There's some finished projects in there. And then there's some stuff that wouldn't fit in there. I think my Taj Mahal's right there. So when I have to put stuff away, the drawer goes back, the binder goes back on the shelf, and this goes back into the box. And yes, I'm still chilling with Mermaid of the Pearls. She's just so pretty. I just gotta hang out with her. So she inspires me to keep moving too. So, and it's either her sitting here looking pretty, or she's rolled up in a drawer where no one can see her, you know. So it's like, eh. Once I can get her framed, hopefully in the next couple months I can take her and get her framed, and I won't have to worry about it. But anyways, just thought I would show you guys that. So there's my start. I'm loving it. These silks aren't too vague rated. But yeah, I love stitching with silk. Sometimes, like, when I'm stitching, like, I'm not a monogamous stitcher. I can be solid working into a project, and then all of a sudden just be like, oh my God, I just want to stitch with some silks. Kind of like when you get those moments where you're like, oh my God, I just want to wear silk underwear. It's kind of like that. So anyways, moving over here. Some things that I've been doing, kitting that up for one. So can't have enough mermaids in this life. But brilliant mermaid right here. Been working on, she's going to get started this month, I hope, fingers crossed. There's her fabric. Still need to iron that and put that on the frame. My big issue with her, though, is I am playing with her hair color, because I don't have them all out here, but the colors that I pulled out for, she's a conversion from, this is Dome brand. So she has Dome brand fibers, and it was a DMC conversion. Well, some of the conversions I'm a little like, I don't know about that. So what I did was I pulled out two designs that have blondes featured in them. One was, I think it was Winter Queen from Mirabilia, and then the other one was Angel of the Sea by Lavender and Lace. And I pulled the blonde colors for them. And I'm thinking I'm liking the conversion for Angel of the Sea. I'm missing a few fibers for it, though, is the problem. The ones that were called for here were very yellow, and I wasn't really liking that. She looked super brassy, so I think I might switch to a different variation. So there's a lot of converting that's going on with her, you know, because she's a conversion, period, you know. So I'm tweaking things a little bit. That and this tail, like this blue-green part right here. Usually I'm all for blue-green, but in the chart, she's more like greens, rusty oranges, and purples, and I kind of like that. It's kind of a unique tail color. So I think I'll keep these colors, but I think I'm going to tweak this blue-green color a little bit here. So I might just play with stitching everything but that. And then, you know, once I have it down, then I can play with my conversions a little more accurately. That, and there's a bunch of other stuff that I'm doing, like these flowers here have like these red berries on them. I don't like that, so I'm going to put something different on there. I'm not sure what yet. And I'm also, these bubbles, you can't really tell, but they're like green and gold beads. And for some reason, that just screamed to me like she farted in the water. So I'm like, I'm not putting green bubbles around her face, and then there's blue everywhere else. So I'm like, we're playing with that. So, yeah. Lots of stuff in the air with her. I can at least get her skin done, and this top. I like the colors of the top, so I'll probably start somewhere in here. I am thinking of doing her skin over 1, so that's kind of a pain because I don't like counting around over 1. I suck at it. So usually I like having all the surrounding stitches done first, and then I go back in. Kitting her up. Not sure what color fabric she's getting yet. I'm expecting some new fabric. I had placed an order with Picture This Plus, so once I get some of those fabrics, I'll make up my mind. But other conversions, let me grab my chair and pull up here because we're going to be here for a little bit. So I did get some haul from Fire Mountain Gems, namely some delicas and some bicones. So this is what I'm working with conversion-wise right now. I'm working on converting the Mill Hill beads for Renaissance Mermaid to delicas. Now, the only ones I'm firm on are these ones because this is fairly simple. It's clear with silver. These ones I'm fairly happy with. These darker blue, kind of iris ones. These ones on the bottom are the ones that are giving me grief. Also, these larger beads, I am going to use those just because I haven't found a Delica brand that's in these bigger beads. I'll probably still use the treasures too, but all the standard Mill Hill sizes, I'm going to be switching them up because my fabric is 28 count Monaco. So let's see if I can get this to show up. So you see my dilemma right here, perhaps. I feel like this one is closer than this one. This one's definitely more blue, and I'm kind of upset because I really thought this one was going to be a good conversion for this, but these are definitely more teal, and these are more just blue. I mean, it's blue zircon, but these are definitely have more of a green cast to them, kind of like these. But the only problem with doing these, look at these two colors together. Like, they're different, but not much. So that's my issue there. But then when I take these two colors, you can see the difference. You know, so that's my dilemma there. Here, I'm fairly certain I'm going with this one, just because these beads, a little bit about bead finishes. These have a pearl finish. I could not find a Delica in these colors, at least in stock, that was these colors with a pearl finish. So I have these two options here. This one is definitely more of a seafoamy aqua color, and it's silver line. Now, I love these kind because the silver lining gives them this cool kind of like opal-y glow, you know, because they're not matte colored beads, but it's just kind of they have kind of a frosty look to them. I really like that. These ones are a little bit more of a pistachio green than the called for color, and they don't have that. They're silver lined too, which is funny because, you know, it's so funny how the same kind of finish affects different colors differently. But this one's definitely more of a pistachio green. I do think if these two colors had a baby, they'd pop out this. But I'm happier with how this color looks with the other colors. And it's just kind of a funner bead to me. So I think I'm going with this one, but, you know, still up in the air. So I'm kind of not fretting on it too much. I probably will still order some more of these colors, trying to find more of like a teal colored silver lined instead of more of a blue zircon. So I'll probably still shop a little bit. I have been playing too with pulling the fabric out, but that hasn't been helping me too much because, I mean, as you can see, like, I think they all look good on it. So, I'll get to stitching a little bit. I do think of pulling these out too and comparing them. See how blue this is compared to that. That looks more green. But, you know, like I said, the big problem with this color is it matches this one so much. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I'll probably just start stitching. Worry about the beads later. That's the plan for now. This next thing I'm going to show you, this is interesting to me because I have always had my eye on this color fabric from Picture This Plus, Da Vinci. The pictures I had seen of it, I had imagined it being blue and red. And the reason I had thought that is because there's that one painting of Da Vinci that's only done in blues and reds. I can't remember the name of it, but I had always thought that was why this fabric had the name. I thought it was like blues and reds, but no, it's more purple and rusty oranges, which I am so down with. And I love this piece. Now, there's a design that I've been looking for an interesting fabric for. I wasn't really thinking of it for this one, but when I do the floss toss, I'm kind of like with it. This is a Teresa Wentzler design, by the way. I'm kind of thinking I like it. Now, the only problem is that design I wanted to do on an opalescent. I'm not going to name it just yet because I'm not committed to it. So I have actually ordered a piece of Da Vinci in opalescent. So I can do my fiber toss. Some of these fibers blend in a little bit color-wise, but not too bad. I think it's very complementary. So I'm kind of excited about that, and I just wanted to share it on camera. So more on that later once the opalescent comes in. But man, I love this. I'm going to have to get me some more of them. But yeah, I've been on a big Picture This Plus kick. It's funny because most of the fabrics I usually went with were silk weavers. But now I'm trying new stuff. Okay, so this is gonna be the part that takes a little bit. So I thought I would share the Sparkle Horde because that's fun. And I thought, you know, I just got this order from Fire Mountain Gems, so now's a good time to kind of show you how I organize things. So let's start out with the bicones. As you can see, I have a plethora of bicones, and I love it because I can pretty much, whenever I'm working on a project, just pull this out and pick me some bicones. As you see, I'm running out of room. What's funny is this piece, this box right here was my first box, but as you can see, it's gotten beat up. It's gotten other artsy stuff stuck on it. This is like puffy paint type stuff and hot glue, whatever. But in here right now, I have the weird shaped crystals, like there's a couple moons and stars and stuff. And this is going to have to become the overflow box because before this used to have my hot colors up top, my cold colors down low. But now I need a box for the cold and a box for the hot, and I'm overflowing on the cold because I like cold colors better. Actually, the hot colors is sharing with monochromatics as well. So I need another box. But yeah, I love these. So what I do is the ones that don't have a label, they either came in like, which you can kind of tell they're kind of low quantity anyway, they came in like a mixed package, and I just picked through and separated them to get them sorted out. The ones that I super like, I order like more of. So as you can see, I really like fire opals. That's this one right here. I love the fire opals. They're really cool looking. And these have a bunch of fun finishes too, just like the Delicas do, which we'll get to the Delicas in a minute. But I really love like this one right here, this pink that's got an opal. I love the opals for some reason. They're just really cool to me. But these all have lots of different finishes on them. Some of them are the AB finish. Then there's the ones that are 2 times AB. There's some that have like a gold, like these ones right here have a bit of a gold cast to them. These are the volcano ones that are like all kinds of different colors. But they're so fun and they're so easy to add on. Like you just stitch a project and you're like, needs more sparkle. Let's pull the sparkle box out. This one's my favorite. I love digging into this one. Oh, there's all my favorite colors. So what I do is when I order these, obviously I got this case at like Joann's or something. When I order these, it comes in this. So there's a sticker on the back here. And for the bicones, I just cut out the color name. There's like a number too, but I never pay attention to that. I always order my bicones by the color because there's not as many bicones, Swarovski bicones, as there are Delicas. So I don't worry about the number. I just worry about the color name. And I like that it shows, you know, what kind of a finish it is. So I will cut that with scissors. tape it to the back here. As you can see, not all of them are labeled because those are the ones that were in mixed bags. Some of them too, like when I first started collecting, most of them are in this one here. I got them off eBay, and as you can see, the names have worn down. You can barely see that still says Fire Opal. So I need to relabel those, which sucks because that means I'm going to have to print stuff. That or I could just order. I'd be super lazy, but psh, I could just order more. I'm bad. But anyways, that's how I organize those. It's a very similar process for how I do my delicas. Here are my delicas. These are not all of them, by the way. Not all of them in that. A lot of them are kitted. But I have them organized about the same way. I like to organize them by color. There's a couple stray Mill Hills right there. So I've got like my reds, my rosy colors, my peaches, my oranges, my yellows, my greens, my blue greens, my blues, my blue purples, my violets, I didn't know what to categorize it because they're multicolor. Some random Mill Hills, some beading needles, the metallic colors, and some empty tubes. I don't really want to say where I got these tubes from because a shop was very nice. I was receiving them. If you stitch the designs that I stitch, you probably know what shop this is, but they were very nice. I emailed them and asked them if I could just order 100 of these, and they did. But I don't know if that's something they want to do on the regular, so I don't want to name the shop that did that. When you do order them from Fire Mountain Gems, you do get them in these, which is the same size around, it's just taller. So if you wanted to, you could just cut them down, you know, and make them yourself. So I don't feel like I'm leaving you with nothing there, at least. These tubes are nice. These are the smallest quantity they come from. This is a 7.5 gram. Most of these, the most I can fit in one of these is 5, or 4 or 5. 5 is a tight squeeze. But what I do is for those I cut these come with stickers on the bags too. This time I cut the name and the number. Delicas are much easier to find by the number than they are by the name. But I want both on my tube, so yeah, that's how I store those. But yeah, let's just have a look. Oh, this just makes me happy. This is where I stash, this is where I hoard, is little sparklies. I used to be really bad with like blending filaments and fibers too, but I don't hoard those so much anymore. Just because these are so easy to substitute, they're so easy to add to designs. There's no real charting that needs to be done. We're just like, oh, let's throw some beads down on there. I love all the different finishes. Like these are silver lined, these are AB, these are clear. There's some really cool ones too, like these matte clear ones. They just look really cool. Kind of like sea glass almost. There's frosted ones, there's pearl ones. But yeah, and I try to have some of every finish in every color. And you never know what you're going to use them for. A lot of these blue violets look the same, but there's so many different ones. But it's funny, like they look the same a lot. Whenever I look in here, it's like it looks like I've got all these tubes in the same color, but there's slight differences. As you can see, I still did not have enough to satisfy this design over here. So if you're like, gosh, you know, lay off on the delicas, obviously I still didn't have enough for what I needed. But yeah. And sometimes I'll go through and I'm like, I don't have too many yellows. Let's order some more yellows. Now, if you're thinking, wow, your purples are kind of low because I have a lot of purple. I have a lot of purple in other projects, so I have more than what's here because they're in other projects. Now, this is where I'm bad about hoarding, because if I, like, say, do I see the one that I used? No, I think it's one of these over here, actually. This was on Mermaid of the Pearls. I converted the greens on her to these ones. So I'm weird that, like, I like having a full tube in here. And if I use it, if I get it down to where there's like this much left, I like have anxiety and I have to get another one and I have to refill it. Because I'm like, if I'm using it, that means I like it and I'll probably use it again. So if I'm like down to where there's like only 1 gram in here, I'm like, oh my God, I need to buy more. So I try to keep my tubes full. It's just a little bit of OCD for me. Some of the colors I don't mind so much if it's one that, let me see if I can find one. It's hard when they're all laying down and I got a camera in my way. Sometimes if I'm like, yeah, that's not a color I like too much, like this one, you know, I'm not a big pink person. I will use these, As you can see, when I ordered this, I only ordered 1 gram. I wish it didn't have the volumes on here, because these volumes always change as I use them, as I refill them, add more. So that's just, it's what was on. I used to get these ones from eBay. That's why these labels are a little different. I actually like how these labels look better. But when I got them from eBay, they labeled the Ziploc bags that the beads were in, and they just stuck this on here. So that's where I got this label from, and that's why it has the volumes on there. But typically I don't care about having the volume on there. As long as the tube is full, that's all that matters to me. But yeah, sometimes colors like that I don't use too much, I'll let them get low. But if it's a color I really like I really like my tubes to be on the full size, because then I know I have plenty. And I still feel like I need more, like especially metallics. Like I've got coppers, I've got golds, I've got silvers, I've got bronze, I've got gunmetal. You know, like I still feel like I don't have enough, which is funny. These, I bought these actually at Joann's. I feel like there's some colors and beads that you definitely need tons of. So gold is one, pearl is one, and it's not in my thing, but I got it over here to the side. I think these are a must-have color. These clear iridescent ones. According to these, they're crystal for Delica. Mill Hill uses these a lot too. By the way, when you buy these tubes, it's kind of hard to tell where the number is. This is not the number. The number is right here. It always starts with DB, and a lot of times the string is zeros and then the actual number. So this is DB0051V. The V stands for the finish, I think. Like it's got that extra iridescent, sparkly finish to it. But yeah, just to show you kind of a comparison for finishes, let me pull out, I know I got another, there's the other two. So here's basically 3 whites, and I about threw it across the room. So these are basically like 3 whites or clears, whatever you want to call it. So these ones are clear, AB, the crystal. These are clear, silver lined, and these are opaque, like I think it's a cream tan with the rainbow finish. So this has the same finish as this one, but this one is see-through and this one is not. So as you can see, there's not much of a difference, but just depending on what you're using them for. Like this is good for mermaids, for like sprays of water. This could work as kind of a pearl. It's kind of, you know, see-through for a pearl. But what I like about these is if you cluster them together, they look really cool, kind of like an opal. And then these, they have no extra finish. They're lined with silver, so they don't have the iridescent quality to them. But the light really hits when they're silver lined, the light really makes them shine. They almost kind of remind me of fish scales, you know, like when you see fish and they get that shine from them, which barracudas go nuts for. Just kind of reminds me of that. You know, it just kind of gives the beads a little bit of fire, makes them more eye-catching, which makes them really fun to add to projects, because that's something that you will not get from like a acrylic metallic or a blending filament or some kind of a fibery kind of need the silver of the bead to get that kind of effect. So, but yeah, there's a new one I got just for fun. I was like, I need some more orange silver lined. So I ordered this, you know. And what I do is I will fill up my little tubey, cut out the label, add the name, fill up my tube. Obviously this, you know, leaves me with extra. I'll put the remaining away in a drawer and top off as needed. I did have to top this one off after working on Mermaid of the Pearls. So can't say it's a complete waste. I definitely enjoy my sparkle though. So yes, thank you for visiting the Sparkle Horde. As far as Maynia goes, been doing pretty good. I mean, working on, you know, the Deep Blue Sea here, and that's going well. I would love to finish the center portion before moving on, but I don't know if that's feasible. We'll just see. I mean, I just did this last night. You know, I just literally put this on the frame stand last night, so that's all that I got in one day. So I'm hoping to kind of finish the center portion. I wish I could show you a better picture, but I don't want to give any charts away or anything. But basically it's this middle blue part. I'd love to get to this little coral fringing area here, because there's some like fun reds and yellows, and I think they'll really pop on this fabric here. So I'm looking forward to seeing that bit. Another thing I did do is I added a checklist. So as you can see, I checked that I started Heiress of Atlantis and Deep Blue Sea. Heiress of Atlantis is put away for now. I got her to a good starting point and then moved on from her. I can maybe share some photos at some point. I'll show you guys her soon. And I did make this list a little bit bigger than everything that I thought I would get done. Like, I'm not sure if I'm going to get Brilliant Mermaid started just because I'm converting the hair and I'm out of some flosses that I need, and with, you know, the craft stores are still closed. They'll probably start opening up here on, what is it, the 11th or the 12th that they're supposed to open up. And it seems, you know, I only need a handful of colors, so it seems silly to like curbside deliver me 5 colors, you know. So I'm just waiting on that. It's not, obviously, as you can see, I got plenty of other stuff to do. And then I kind of made like some shopping lists and some wish lists, because I went through my Mirabilis and I was shocked. There was a bunch that I thought I had that I actually didn't, like Siren and the Shipwreck. I thought I had that one. So I'm just making myself a little bit more of a wish list. That way I don't end up ordering duplicates or, you know, impulse buying something when there's something that's been on my wish list for a while that I need to just get. Like, for instance, Celtic Banner. I've been meaning to buy that for ages. I've never done it. It's just one of those, like, you don't see a ton of them on eBay, and I'm rarely at an LNS that has one. It's old enough pattern that most LNSs don't have it. Excuse me, I swallowed my spit. Or inhaled my spit, I guess you'd say. Anyways, here I also put some goals on here. I'd like to reach the halfway point of Taj Mahal. Misty Morning Vineyard, that's another Chatelaine. I just thought that was good enough to put up for there now, because I think all these starts are going to take up a lot of my time, because I don't like I would not be satisfied putting this away as is here. I would definitely want more done before I start moving it on. Like, to me, yeah, technically it's started, but I feel like this doesn't count until the center's done. You know, I'm just kind of weird that way, so don't judge me. Anyways, that's enough for now. I will see you guys next time. Hopefully you guys are enjoying Maynia. Hopefully you guys are getting some good news quarantine-wise. I've had some good news. You know, they started talking about opening my industry. I mean, that brings a lot of frustrations as well, because there's so much confusion. Like, I'm just not even going to go into that. But they are talking about opening, you know, so that's promising. Also, my unemployment finally came through, so that's super encouraging. So yeah, that's nice, and I hope you guys are all staying safe. Hope you guys are enjoying your stitching, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.